Episode 10, The Battle for Breath. Yua stood frozen, her hand clutching the shiny, moon-like charm behind her back. Her chest rose and fell rapidly as she turned slowly, caught in the act. "Who is there?" a voice echoed. It was Imma's younger sister, stepping barefooted into the hallway with sleepy eyes and a puzzled look. She had heard the kitchen door creak and sensed someone tiptoeing. In that house, every sound had meaning, and this one didn't sit right. As Yua turned to face her, panic lit her face like fire on dry leaves. The charm was meant to touch only Imma, and she was not to see or speak to any other soul before then. But now, the first eye she met was that of this sharp-eyed girl who watched her every movement like a hawk circling prey. "What are you hiding?" the younger sister asked, moving closer. Before Yua could conjure a lie, Imma's sleepy voice rang from inside the bedroom. "What's going on? Who's there?" "She said she's here to see you," her sister replied. Still half asleep, Imma squinted. "Who's she?" A heavy silence followed, and then came Yua's faint, shaky voice. "It's me. Imma, it's Yua. Please, whoever you are, come back later," Imma said, her voice firm but polite. "It's too early." Her sister frowned. How did she even get into this house? Imma sighed deeply. "Just go and lock all the doors. We'll talk later." Yua quietly turned back, swallowed by the weight of her own failure. Her feet dragged like heavy stones as she slipped out the same way she had come, through the back kitchen door, into the lonely silence of the morning. The charm in her hand was now useless. The mission ruined. That night, Imma tossed and turned. Her rest was thin like a bedsheet flapping in harmattan wind. Her dream came like a dark flood. She saw Yua holding a long knife, chasing her across an endless field, screaming, "Give it to me! Give it to me!" She woke up with a scream. A sharp pain tore through her stomach like a sudden lightning strike. Sweat poured down her back as she reached for her phone and called Io. Within minutes, Io picked. "Imma, what's wrong?" "I'm in pain. And something happened earlier," she said, explaining the strange early morning visit, the dream, and how the doctor had warned her the baby could come at any time. Io didn't hesitate. He booked the next available flight. 8 hours later, he was in Nigeria. This time, he didn't wait to be picked. He took a cab straight to the house. As he knocked gently on the door, Imma opened it and stood in shock. There stood her man, eyes soft, face glowing. Io walked in, his eyes never leaving her belly. He knelt down, kissed her swollen stomach and whispered, "Thank you, for carrying my crown. For enduring this journey just to give me a name in this world." Imma, overwhelmed with joy, waddled off into the kitchen to prepare something warm for him. She had forgotten about the contractions. Suddenly, her water broke. "Io! Io!" she screamed. Io rushed in. With one hand, he held her steady. With the other, he grabbed the packed hospital bag and they headed out. The car screeched through the estate gate. Within minutes, they were at the hospital. Nurses rolled Imma in on a wheeled stretcher. Io followed her into the labor room, refusing to leave her side. "Push, madam," the midwife commanded. Io, sweating more than Imma, stood beside her, mimicking every push. "Push it, love. Push. Let him come with a crown," he yelled as if he could push for her. The doctors chuckled. Parable says, when the pot is full, the soup will pour. And so, Imma's pot poured. A strong, loud cry burst out. "A boy!" Imma wept, Io wept. The baby was placed on her chest. Imma touched his tiny cheeks. But moments later, the joy twisted. The baby gasped. Once. Twice. Then, he stopped breathing. Nurses rushed. The child was whisked away into the neonatal emergency unit. Imma and Io were asked to wait. But something else was happening. At that exact moment, back in her house, Yua was performing a final chant the prophet had instructed her to say. As she completed the last line, a black shadowy smoke crept out through her window. It moved fast. It passed through streets, trees, estates, and silently slipped into the hospital. It approached the labor room like a snake hunting a bird. But Imma had already bathed her baby before the attack could come, and so, the spirit couldn't touch her. It struck the child instead. Back in the hospital, alarms rang. Machines beeped fast. Emma stood at the glass window, unable to move, her body still sore from birth, her heart clutched by fear. Io stood behind her, holding her shoulders as the nurses fought to save the boy. Time moved like smoke. Then the doctor stepped out. Face calm, hands folded. Mrs. Emma, your son is breathing again. We had to resuscitate him. But he's stable now. Emma collapsed into Io's arms in tears. Thank you, Jesus. Parable says, when the evil one throws stone at a pregnant woman, her womb shall return it with twins of fire. Unknown to Ewa, that night her battle was no longer with Emma. It was with a fire that could not be quenched. With a womb that heaven had marked for greatness. And now, her own shadow had begun to fade. As the episode closes, the screen fades to black with the words, "To be continued."